Good evening, everybody. How's it going? And welcome to the next YamYam Retro Gaming live stream. I'm just going to sit and wait for a few of you to hopefully see this and log on. And I've noticed you've just jumped on first of all, r.a.m.s. Nice to see you, fella. How are you doing? Yeah, sorry it's taken a few more days to get this done, but there's been some important things needed doing with regards to work and family and things like that. So it's taken until now to kind of get round to having a good look at the game and being able to have a good run through before I get on to this. And this is the first opportunity I've got to actually give it some gameplay. So hello, welcome all. I've just said it once, I'll say it again. One thing you'll notice straight away, I'm actually hands-free today. And that's because I've finally picked myself up a decent little tripod. It's nothing special, but it allows me to put my phone anywhere to record this. I don't use any fancy cameras or nothing like that. I do this guerrilla style. I just like to give it you how it is, the way I'm playing it, the way you'd see it at home. So at least it's going to be a bit more stable, apart from me nudging the table every so often. But you're going to have some stable footage of the gameplay, which will be nice for a change rather than my shaky hands. So I hope you're all having a good time anyway. I'm here in the UK, it's 7 PM, autumn's kicking in now, the nights are drawing in. So, you know, what better time really to be looking at sitting back down with our retro consoles and computers and taking a look at some games, eh? I imagine a few of you there tonight probably going to sit down, grab a few beers. Those of you who aren't going out, of course, taking a look at a few things. And I've noticed that since the approach of the final boxed versions coming soon, I started to see a lot more turning up in terms of software for the next. I've noticed a few more people finally putting their cased boards, their uncased boards they've had for a year into cases to get things rolling and start playing these games now and seeing what's out there. And I think that's pretty cool. So good news is, obviously, I've gotten some exclusives so far, and a few of the other developers have taken notice. If any other developers are watching and you want your game covering here, a lot of people are now watching these videos, so drop me a message, have a chat with me, let me know what you want me to talk about, and maybe I'll take a look at your game too and show all the upcoming next community what there is to be coming. Doesn't have to be next, I do all things retro gaming. I've got some brilliant videos coming up this week. We've got a look at the Sword M5 computer. I'm doing a video on that later this week. I'm doing a new series, a new feature for this called Retro Room 101, in which I'll be dissecting and taking a look at some video gaming theories, games, tropes and otherwise, and seeing what deserves to be cast down to the bells of hell. And this weekend I'm eventing for Revival Retro Events. We're doing Coventry Comic Con and Yorkshire Cosplay Ball, so I'll be doing some live streaming from there, so you can see what the event atmosphere is all like, see what setup's a bit like, and hopefully show you a bit of what else we do besides this, when we're actually doing the real graft. But anyway, this evening we have the latest upcoming game for the Spectrum Next. It's another premium title. And it follows on from my video last week on Angry Bloaters, which is the first budget commercial title for the Spectrum Next that I'm aware of. And it's been done by Lampros Potamianos. He's him and Phoebos Doukas from the Spectrum Next software hardware creation team. They are working on Angry Bloaters together. Lampros is working on this as his premium title though. Today we're going to be looking at the Hollow Earth Hypothesis. It's a completely different game to what we're looking at with Angry Bloaters. It's a lot different to a lot of the other games I've looked at so far. We've looked at space shooters, we've looked at dungeon crawlers, we've looked at there's a couple of platformers coming up. How's it going, Bill? But, you know, this is the first action platformer adventure game that I've been looking at, and it looks a lot different to a lot of the other games we've been looking at. Of course, we had Baggers in Space the other day. That's more of an action shooter. That's very close to some old games. This one, a little bit more original, I would say. And I'm looking over here because I'm going to refer to my notes. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the game. I do tend to feature a lot on the gameplay. I'm going to come on to that shortly. But first, I'd just like to give you a bit of a briefing. This is from Lampros himself. The reason being, there's some tech heads out there who are getting into Next development. They're getting into the Spectrum Next and trying to find out what it's all about. And he's given me a little bit of information here on the background of the game, how it's come about and how he's developed it. So I'm just going to feed back a bit of what he's put here. I might paraphrase a little, but it's mostly going to be Lampros's words. So, the Hollow Earth hypothesis, developed by Lampros on the Zeus assembler, C-Spect emulator, and a 2A Spectrum Next development board. Game design, coding, music and sound effects by him. Graphics by him and Nick Cal, who is his partner in crime on this one. It's taken 12 months with various long breaks. It's probably taken 6 months of solid development. The game design, in terms of the puzzles and the level pacing, has took most of this time as he wanted to deliver something highly playable and with a certain depth. In my youth, I kept coming back to r.a.m.s and Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was a brilliant game, everyone remembers that. Even though I had completed them several times, there was just something about these games that made me want to load them up and spend another half hour playing them. Of course, there's influence from several other games too, like Rick Dangerous, Dr. Livingston, or even Cockatony Wolf. Not games I'm familiar with there. Rick Dangerous, a lot of people have looked at, and there's also one other game in development that's very close to that, so be interesting to see how they compare. But it's not a copy or a clone of them, but rather a new arcade adventure with platform and puzzle elements. It's a flip screen and scrolling game in the spirit of r.a.m.s and Rick Dangerous, with a total of 80 screens to beat that comprise a surreal world inhabited by deformed and giant creatures. Some screens are only reachable when certain goals are met. The player can jump, climb or ride their way to reach gold coins and special items that are scattered all over the levels. Some items will be necessary for game progression, others only offer perks. It's up to the player to find out which ones are which and what they do. So, yeah, sounds like quite an adventure game. Rather than just being, a straightforward platforming collect 'em up, I suppose, that would have been a typical staple of the time. There is obviously some kind of puzzle elements that introduces more of an adventure kind of complex to it. Now, I've played through a little bit of it, and I'll be honest, I'm not that good at these type of games, and Lampros has been good enough to send me a poked version of the game. So I've got infinite lives, just so I can show you more of the game than probably my skill set would allow me to normally. You only get 5 lives normally, I think it is, and I've got infinite lives just so I can show you around. I've had a bit of a playthrough of the first few screens, but I want to be able to show you a bit more, and I'm not going to spoil anything for you. We're just going to have a bit of a wander around so you can take a look at the aesthetics and see the kind of things you're going to need to do and what kind of challenge it represents. I'm not going to show you all the way through it. I might do a later video on some of the games I've covered and show you how I've got on since I've gone away and gone back and played the demos through in their fullest. But I'm not going to show you too much of the games. At the end of the day, these games are going to be commercial releases. They're new Spectrum games for all intents and purposes, and you're going to want to see them for yourself. When you get your Spectrum Next, whether you've heard of the system, whether you've heard of the games and heard of the projects, I don't know. But once you see these, I know a lot of people are getting into them. So I'm not going to spoil the surprise by showing you the ins and outs of every game. I just want to give an overview and let you know my thoughts and give us some feedback to the developers, give them some suggestions, and hopefully they can interact with yourselves. A lot of them jump onto these streams and they can discuss some of the finer points with you. So I'm not going to read out the rest of it because some of it gives a few clues on gameplay. But what I will do is go down and tell you that the game gives you a score as a percentage of your game's progress. So you can see how well you're doing at the game by when you die, you'll get a percentage completed progress. So that's your kind of score for the game. It uses layer 2 and low res ULA modes and uses all of the now base 1 megabyte of memory for the Spectrum Next. Originally, I think the Spectrum Next was only going to have 256 kilobytes of of RAM, and they've now said the base spec will be 1 MB minimum. I think that was due to availability of chips or something like that. I don't know if someone can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I know they did have trouble getting hold of the smaller chips, which is why they've kind of upped the base amount to 1 MB. But of course, at the moment, it's fully expandable up to 2 MB anyway. My Spectrum Next was fully pimped from the minute it was bought, and it's already up to 2 MB of RAM anyway, so I know this can handle it. If anybody out there is developing for the full complete case next, they will have the Pi acceleration and things like that on there. I don't think anything's been developed to take advantage of those yet, but just to let you know that if you do want it covering, the development next haven't really got those yet, so I wouldn't be able to cover anything like that just yet until I get my complete next. But yes, my Spectrum Next will easily be able to handle this, because this has been given 2 MB of RAM from the off. The graphics and sound effects were designed in Lampros's own custom software, which runs directly on the Next, and the music was written in V-Tracker. As far as the game itself goes, he tells me that the game is 100% complete in terms of coding. It may have some graphical refinements, some expanded title tune, and obviously the tweaks here and there. The demo version is limited to 30 screens. There'll be 80 screens altogether, and it will be released soon. The good news about this, a lot of people are asking about when the Next itself is going to be released. I couldn't actually give any more information on Angry Bloaters or any of the other games I've talked about, because people didn't know when they were coming out. Lampros has said here that this will be released as a full premium game within a month or so as a digital download, and will most likely get a physical release as well once he figures out the logistics. I think that's great news. I think a lot of Next owners, you know, especially the UK crowd who love their Spectrums, I think they're going to want the physical copies. You know, whether they copy them over into different cards and use them that way, people want the physical games. They want to have those originals there. You know, just as they used to have their tapes and proudly display them, people still buy them now. I think people are going to want the individual physical games, and it's great to know that Lampros has obviously investigated that avenue already, and I'm pleased it will. I'm pleased it will get a physical release if they can work that out. This will be a full price game, which obviously a lot of the developers are still talking about at the moment. And Lampros does say here he's not sure what that price will be, but this will compare drastically to Angry Bloaters, which is intended to just be a budget game. So as a budget game, I mean, I've bandied some numbers out there just based on my thoughts, because, you know, I'm here to give my critiques and my thoughts on things. You know, I hope that, you know, the budget titles come out for between £3 and £5, hopefully. And, you know, I think people would even be finding those as just a digital thing if needs be. But it'd still be nice to see them physically. And then premium games, I think we've already seen them come out at £10 and £13, I think it is. And I think £10 to £15 is none towards. Maybe just upwards of that would be okay, I think, for most people to deal with. And, you know, hopefully we'll see that being a consistent thing for these. But it's good to see that Lampros has already looked at all those options and has already considered it. And it's nice for him to have given me a lot more information on how he's developed for this game, the kind of things he's used and what it utilises. So anyway, that's enough of my talking bullshit. It's time to switch the camera around. I'm going to go onto the screen and I'm going to show you what this game's all about. So let's just flip round. Just adjust my tripod here. Bear with me a second. I'm using my better TV this time, as you can see. I'm just going to pull this, I'm going to move my laptop over, pull this out a bit so I can get the full screen in. And at least this way as well, I should be able to see any comments or anything that you guys are making whilst I play the game. So a few people have asked what that is when I actually call up, when I actually show people the Next. This is the screensaver that operates. But if you leave it on the Next OS for too long, it goes into this little bounding box kind of effect, which is quite cool. Just a good screensaver for the system. Let's just try and find a good angle when I'm not getting too much of the light glaring. I want it to be square on ideally, but that's probably a bit too much to ask. Is that okay for everybody? You see enough of the screen that way? Not cutting too much out. Let's get my joystick into position. It might be a little bit clicky because my joystick is right by me here again, but as I said before, I like playing on a joystick. I'm not a keyboard player, and I haven't got too good hands to play on a keyboard with anyway. So I'm going to jump into my browser here. My keyboard membranes work. It's playing ball today. It's actually going. Oh, I did say it was going up and down just fine. Now it's not going up again. It doesn't matter anyway. It was playing ball. I'm going to have to sort that before I sell this on. We'll go down to next games. Sorry, Kev, my bad. There's a lot of people out there haven't got the background on these things, so I'm just trying to get in there and show people what's going on. But at least if people know a bit of the background, you know. People want a bit more complete experience when they're watching these things, and there's plenty of time. So anyway, I've got on with the next games there. I've already got the game at the bottom anyway. That's the normal game, but thankfully I've got this demo version which has got the poking for infinite lives. So I'm going to use that one I'm showing you today. You're not going to get as easy as this, but at least I can show you a few more of the screens without worrying about losing all my lives. So hit enter, and this is still in the standard bin and snapshot formats at the moment, not in the new .nex format. And you can see the title screen. I don't know if that's going to be the full title screen or what, but there's a little bit of blends in a little bit down on the screen between the white and the yellow background. But it's a nicely drawn screen anyway. And I still love this, the whole stop the tape thing. It's becoming a bit of a trademark for Lampros's games, and I think it's quite cool. You know, a throwback to the days of tape loading. He did it on Nextoid, he did it on Angry Blouters, and now they've done it on here, and I think that's pretty cool. I'll turn the sound up slightly. I don't know if this is likely to be the title screen as you're going to see it, but, well, certainly not with my name on it. But I think that's very nice. I've got so many games now that are kind of dedicated to me. I've got so many demos on here. If I was a narcissist, I'd be in paradise. But yeah, the Hollow Earth hypothesis. And you can see there's a little bit of a briefing at the bottom there about what you should be doing. Follow r.a.m.s in his quest to reveal the truth about the world we live in. Sounds deep. So you've got your same options on the title screen that you had in the previous games, going back as far as Nextoid. We've got keyboard or joystick options, and the good news is if you do redefine the keys, it will save them. Again, another thing I think with regards to the Spectrum Next having obviously flash storage is a great thing we never would have got with tape loaded games back in the day. I'm not going to redefine the keys because there's no need for me to. The joystick up, down, left, right will control my character, and fire will be jump. And the only other two keys I need are... Oh right, okay Kev, no problem. Don't worry, I didn't take offence anyway. I know I talk a lot. I'm just trying to practice my patter on camera. Yeah, so the only other keys I need are Z and X on the keyboard, and that's to scroll between my items as I collect them. You do collect certain things like keys and certain items that help you progress, and you have to move between those and select the right item to proceed. So that'll be the only keyboard interaction I need. So I'm going to select joystick, obviously, hit S, and off we go. Right, Professor r.a.m.s of the Miskatonic University has a serious lead that an ancient scroll is buried in an island off the coast of New England. Referenced by many notable historians and archaeologists, the scroll is said to be a map of a land inside our Earth. Thus, Professor r.a.m.s embarks on a quest to find the lost scroll and investigate the Hollow Earth hypothesis. Sounds pretty deep for a platform game. So yeah, you can see the sprite effects being put into use here. This screen actually looks very familiar of a little game I worked on not so long ago. It's got a briefing screen like this at the start. It looks really cool. I like the way the bats are flying in front. One thing I did just quickly notice on here, Lampros, something you might want to touch up. When the bats hit the left edge, there's a quick little artifact of the bat appears over the right hand side here. So just something you might want to touch up in bug testing. You'll see the little bats appear occasionally there. So let's hit fire and let's get going. So here's Rick anyway, and you arrive on your little boat, and you can see nice colourful graphics here. You've got kind of like low-res graphics to the background there, along with nice detailed foreground graphics here on the trees, and on the, you've got nice pixel art for the characters in a good amount of colours, and even such little details as when I jump, you can see little dust particles come up off your feet when you jump and when you land. Quite a cool little effect. We've got some kind of Mario-esque coinage going on here. Obviously I've got to collect those because we've got the counter at the top of the screen. Whether that just represents points or percentage of completion, or whether there's some kind of ulterior motive, we'll just have to find out. So no clues on the first screen as to what's going on, so I guess we're just going to have to carry on, start collecting things and see where it leads to. So the character speed is good. There's a very subtle tap tap tapping noise you can't really hear on the music as he walks along. Nice pleasing jump sound effect. Not a bad little jump mechanic. Feels quite fluid. And I think it's playing to the stereo effect as well, because I can hear the audio coming from that side when I jump in certain places and from that side in others. So even though it's a flip screen affair, we are getting a true flip screen scroll going on, which is quite cool. Rather than just flicking off and flicking back on again. So obviously we don't want to touch that guy. Okay, so we're climbing ladders. Can't go through the gate there. Spikes, always a bad thing, so definitely not going to want to go over those. Let's take a look up the ramp here. Okay, so we can't go that way. We can go that way, but it looks a little bit dangerous. So let's try the other way. I'll go and explore before we do anything. Right, okay, so we can see a couple of wasps and birds flying around. Got some spike pits there. We can't quite reach that platform. There's a key up the top there. We're obviously going to need that, so let's see if we can't make our way across and see if we can retrieve that. Let's try and time this right. Oh, time that bad. Let's try that again. Oh, a little bit of stickage there on that platform. How far does he come? Oh, right, he only comes to there, that's good. Yes. You got the yellow key. So now we've picked up the yellow key, you can see we've got the icon flashing in the bottom corner there. I think if once we collect more items, if we press Z and X on the keyboard, it should scroll between those there. Anybody who's played Alex Kidd on the Master System, there's a similar thing when you go into the pause menu on there. You have to manually select between your different items and use them at different key points in the game. So that's very reminiscent of that. So let's make our way back across. Try and take this route. It seems the safer way to go. Just got to time it right. And we can see there's a gate there with some yellow tinges on the top. So I'm wondering if it actually affects that gate. Let's see if we can make our way there safely without touching that rat thing on the bottom. Ooh, that was close. See if we can make him go off the screen. There we go. So that gate is now open with the yellow key selected. Before we run off though, I'm wondering whether I should go and investigate up top. See if there's anything I've missed. Wait for the rat to go. Let's go down. Let's see what's going on down here. That moves as fast as you do, gotta be careful. There's no way I'm going for those coins. I must be suicidal. You've got no attacks. I don't think you'll be able to get them. Right, so we've got some weird flying green dude thing. We've got some dropping pink blobs and some strange War of the Worlds type spider thing there. I should grab that coin at least. Let's take a look down here, see what's going on. Okay, so a bit of a background change there. We're down into some kind of cave system. Right, the control, I've got to say at this point, the control is nice and fluid. He moves at a good pace, he jumps well, the dust particle effects are cool. Obviously, because this is using like a high-res graphics mode, the detail in the pixel sprites is a lot smaller, and it is pretty much pixel perfect. And by that I mean, I did mention Angry Bloaters. Definitely is Simon, definitely. Yeah, there's definitely, like on Angry Bloaters, the way the collision detection works, it kind of worked on a grid. So you had like 16 by 16 blocks, and if you walked into the flame and you even walked into the hitbox for that the hitbox was like 16 by 16. With this, the hitbox is a lot tighter, so you know the actual point you contact. Oh, you actually stick to the wall if you're up against it there. The point you actually touch like a rope at is the point you grab it at. If you hit a platform, I'm actually not stood on the top of the thing. I'm actually stood on the little dropped pixel there to the right hand side. That's good for detail, but I wonder whether it might just hinder gameplay slightly the further I go on. There was a platform a little bit higher up that was like that. So Lampros, if you are watching, just a pointer there maybe that you might just need to just double check the collision detection in certain places there. Like there, see how I'm stuck on that one pixel? It's great for the accuracy, however, it might become problematic for accurate platforming later on. So you might just want to double check the collision detection in certain places. So there's no penalty for dropping from big heights. Let's see if we can get that coin. This is going to be a tricky jump, I can see. Whoa, that was close. Right, okay, so we can't go in the water, I'm guessing. I think that's going to kill me. In fact, I've got lives to burn, so... Ah, right, so we get oxygen. And oxygen depletes rather fast, so I'm guessing we're going to have to try and find something that's going to help us get through that water. I don't know anybody else, but this is also giving me slight little elements of Dizzy with having to find items to progress like that. At very least, we'll see if we can get past this obstacle and make our way across there to grab that coin. While we're here, we might as well. Oh, see, there's what I mean. I was stuck on that little pixel then. It was a little bit like there. Yeah, gotta be careful with that. Oh, well, at least I got the coin anyway. Don't think I'll be going much further though. I think by now I'd have expended those 5 lives really quickly. One thing I have noticed about this game, I mean, it's certainly a challenge. Monty Mole, there you go, Kev. It's, yeah, very much like that. One thing I have noticed, the challenge is certainly there, and it'd be good that you've got a game that certainly represents a good amount of challenge. However, there are a couple of screens that are very busy. I don't know whether they'll be altered slightly to just double check the difficulty. But yeah, I think some screens may just need fine tuning slightly to alter the difficulty to something that's a bit more acceptable. Now, how am I supposed to get that coin? Just floating in midair. Bound to be some kind of invisible platform or something I'm missing. Whoa, I didn't see those spikes there. Whoa, that was close. Anyone see that? Spikes just kind of popping up there. I'm not going to do it again because I'll die. Right, now there's some kind of coloured thing on the floor there. Is it a trap or is it a switch? Oh, not good. It's a trap. Yeah, there's a little bit of stick in there at the bottom of the rope. I'll have to watch that as well. I mean, it's controlling great. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely controlling well. But yeah, I think there's a few little collision issues just need to maybe be resolved slightly before it goes out. But I'm sure Lampros is aware of those, and I'm sure he'll take care of them. Well, I'm going to go back and trim and grab that coin. Oh, that creates the fireball. Okay, so see, I don't think I could even jump that. There's no visual platform there. Maybe I've got to drop down from an area above. Okay, so that just brings me up through the ground there, does it? Okay. So I went down for the route just. Let's go up and see what that does. Does this key open this gate? No, it doesn't. Let's try and make our way across here. When the platform comes back, of course. That looks very much like the Nextoid ship. Not collected very many coins so far. It's a start. I'll probably retrieve that. Ooh, that's a difficult jump to make. You kind of bang your head. Oh, incredibly hard to make. Can I actually jump it? Or will I run in? Oh. That's really hard to get. Maybe it's just my platforming skills. Ah, excellent. So that key's helped us through here. That's good to see. Oh, walked over the spike trap. Can't believe I fell for that. Amateur fail there. Right, so let's see if we can time this right. That looks... Whoa! Oh, that's great, isn't it? Okay, so we've got disappearing blocks to contend with as well. Yeah, looks like I've got to take the long route. Ah, and I'm caught by the spikes again. See, and forget, there's so much going on. This is a very busy screen. I'm going to have to pay a lot of attention to doing this screen, I think. Right, so I've got the butterfly above me that comes all the way to the sun. I've got two bees, I've got the drips, and I've got this crow thing. That's a lot of stuff to dodge, I've got to be honest. This might be a bit... There's obviously some kind of switch over there I need to get to. I can't find it. Oh, that was ridiculously hard. Oh, and the fireball. Oh, there's no need for that. That is ridiculous. There's a lot of stuff there. I might need to rethink that one. Got it. So I've hit that switch. I've no idea what it does, but I've hit the switch anyway. Oh, I forgot about the spikes yet again. What I will do while I'm here though is I'm going to take this route round and make my way up onto the next screen a bit higher. And hit the spikes again. I keep falling for that every time. I think some of this is trial and error. However, I don't know if you've really got enough lives to be able to trial and error that much. So maybe a little bit more of a queue there might help. Right, if I can get on top of there, let's just try and go about that way. Looks like there's some kind of tombstone or something up on the top of there I might need to... No, so apparently that does nothing, so I wasted my time completely with that. Now I happen to know there's a few clues I know I've got to get. I've got to get pieces of a map. I know I've got to pick up certain items to progress. I know I need something for the water. but all the time I've got to be obtaining these damn coins. So, oh, that's a lot of obstacles to think about. I can't jump the snake at the top of the screen. There isn't enough room. The slight screen shake, yeah, it's me. It's me. My table's a little bit wobbly. It's not the screen itself. The screen's very stable. Trust me, it's better than me holding it in my hands or using my ghetto makeshift tripod like I was using. So the image is very still and easy to follow. So don't worry about that. Oh, see, there's that pixel catch that I was talking about there. I'm stuck. Gotta be careful about that. I might need adjusting slightly because I can see that becoming a bit of a nuisance. Right, there's nothing down bottom, so okay. Big ruby. I'm assuming I want that. Oh, I don't want to be touched by the big red bat though. Sparkling ruby. Right. Now I'm assuming I'm going to need that, so I'm going to switch to that. I have that selected. I'm not sure what it does, but let's make our way down and see if we can work out what it does. Whoa! I've done it again. I've already been on the next screen anyway, haven't I? So let's go down here and see what's down here. Ah, right, okay. So I went left last time. I'm not going for them coins. I'm not suicidal. So let's take a run over. Dude looks like a little hunchback. Right, so I've been left there and I've been down into the caves from that angle. So let's go underground here and see what's down here. Okay. So we've got some crazy little tiny headed monkey holding what looks like a torch between his hands. That's strange. Oh, avoid the fireball. Let's see if we grab that coin. I should be able to grab that. Trying to land on the monkey. Ah, fail. Ah, double fail. I'm getting that coin, I don't care. I've committed too much to it now, it's gonna happen. Gotcha. Oh, straight onto the fireball again. Right, well, at least now I've got that coin, I can take a look over here. Okay, so there's a green key down there I can see moving about. I can see a coin over there, and it looks like we go further underground. I think we'll take a right first. Let's try and find a space to jump that rat. There's a rat in my mind, what am I gonna do? Okay. So we've got a new overground area here. I've not been here before. And we've got plenty of bats and weird green flying things and drips and whatever else. I don't know what the collision detection is on those drips. I'm not willing to creep underneath until they've completely disappeared. I think I've got to go this way. Yeah. Oh, how am I supposed to get up there? That's... Oh, I see. I've got to go up over here and that way around to get that coin. I get you. So, I'm assuming I've got to go around the bottom there. Well, I'm dead anyway, so... There's a few traps. You haven't thought about your route. How's it going, Zeb? How you doing, man? I'll tell you what, mate. This next is holding up really well that you prepared for me, mate. Apart from the keyboard. Was it a slightly dodgy rubber keys on this, or was it like a bad matrix or something? I don't know. Occasionally, sometimes some of the keys don't work. I have to give them a bit of a tap to get them going. But the next itself, running superb. Can't fault it at all. Never failed on me. The firmware updates have all gone ahead really well. Okay, so we're in kind of a wooded area here. Let's get on that platform where it looks safe. And I think I've got to go up onto that one on the left. It's going to be a tricky jump, I think. Oh, Whoa, that was lucky. Some very long jumps on this, I'll tell you. Yeah, the case, you did a really good job on the case, mate, definitely. Yeah, just the keyboard, yeah, just occasionally it doesn't hit certain keys. Not really a problem, I don't play on the keyboard, I play with the joystick, but sometimes the arrow key 7 tends to go occasionally, so I can't go back up on my menus. Whoa, trap. Oh, that's a long jump as well. Right, I won't go over there just yet, let's see what's up. Another tombstone, more queens. Yeah, it looks like I can come back from the right for that, so I'm going to make my way up. Whoa, that's quick there. Very quick. And you know I'm going for that coin. Oh. I don't know, avoid the fast snake and I get hit by the stupid drip. Right, let's time this right. That's better. I've got to take the long route back, have I? Yeah. Up. Oh, that wasn't good. Need to wait for the right cycle. Gotcha. Oh, then you've got to go. Oh, I've got to go over the top and get that platform, else I can't actually go to the right there, so. Alright, let's time this right. Gotcha! I think it was luck more than cunning, I'll be honest, but there we go. How's it going, Mike? You alright? Ah, right, so we got something funky over here. It's like a gold bar or something. You know, I've got to try and find that. Ah, oxygen. Ah, O2. Either you're advertising a phone company or I need that to be able to go in the water. So let's. I'm assuming I can't jump that, so I've got to make my way around the long way, have I? Okay. I know I'm going to get caught in some kind of trap like that. Needed the coin there. Oh, that's not good. Oh, and I can't go through that way either. I'll go and get that gold. Whatever it is. The Acme box. Okay, no idea what that does. It is indeed. Everybody's loving the updates, Mike, at the end of the day. Everybody's super excited to see the thing appearing now. But you know what? This is what people are buying the next for. It's all about the games, man. And you know what? This is the... I'll be honest, Lampros, I know you're still there somewhere, mate. This is the first opportunity I've had to play through it at any kind of length. And weirdly, even though you've given me infinite lives to play this demo through, I'm actually doing better than I was when I didn't have infinite lives. It looks like the confidence is just helping me through. So what do you guys think so far? You know, I've seen a few comments on here. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but I mean, there's a lot of detail here. There's definitely some depth. The gameplay's simplistic. You know, the physics are nice. Okay, I've pointed out a few little niggles which could do with kind of fine tuning to help it, but I'm really impressed with what I've seen so far. I don't know what you guys think. I don't know if the game needs a bit of music or something, but at the end of the day, I'm covering these games for you guys to take a look at and give a bit of feedback to the developers. So if there's something here you like the look of or you think might need improving, I mean, he's already said most of this is done. Yeah, it's definitely challenging, Kev. You know, any comments you guys have got are definitely welcome. It's going to help these guys. And, you know, the level of these, it's so far ahead of what we used to see on the Spectrum before. You know, and a lot of people, I've said it before and I'll say it again, a lot of people were concerned that the level of graphics and the level of games we're going to see, it's just going to look like an Atari ST. It doesn't. This one definitely takes on a slightly less Spectrum-ish character in terms of the graphic style because it's in high-res mode. However, the level of the colour depth, the way it feels, the way it plays, and this is the hardest thing to convey to you guys, is that the hardest thing to convey is that it feels Spectrum-ish and that's the most important thing of any game that's being made for the system right now. There's going to be people out there pushing the boundaries, there's going to be people out there doing some real funky stuff, but you know, for me it's about games feeling Spectrum-ish, and this definitely does. Right, I need to get their oxygen tank, so I'm going to be heading right to start with. Assuming I can get over there. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, it is a trap you can fall into. Lampros has just said something there, guys. It's a trap you can fall into when you develop your own games, because you know where to go and where everything is. Sometimes it's hard to know the difficulty curve of your own game, because you can play it through repeatedly to check it. You get good at it, and you know, if it's more about exploration, it's hard to gauge how difficult a game is because you already know where everything is. It's really cool. I like it. I was just saying at the start of this, Mike, I'm not good at this kind of game. I'm trying to think of the platformers I used to play on the Spectrum back in the day. I mean, obviously I mentioned with the Baggers in Space one, I mean, I played Jetpack a lot. You know, I played Hero a lot, and obviously those games inspired that a lot. I already showed Nextoid in another video, Simon. I might touch on that again at another point, but yeah, it's a really cool game. But as far as other platformers go, I played Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. I actually quite liked that. Yeah, when you know your own game, it's difficult to set a difficulty curve. But this is where Lampros, you know, and the other guys have had the right idea. They've passed it on to me. I'm a real gamer, you know. I'm not a pro gamer. I've got a bit of a handicap, so, you know, straight away, you're going to know if it's too difficult. Thankfully, a lot of these games can be played on a joystick, which is just a one-handed affair, and that works really well for me. But yeah, I'm just a typical guy playing these games for the first time and letting you know what it feels like to me to play these games, how difficult it is. I'm glad, by the way, I'm glad there's not a time limit, because I've just been riding this platform forever. It's a good job Rick here hasn't got a problem with height. Yeah, if you jump on one of my other videos, Simon, yeah, I did one of my earlier videos on here. If you look on the page, I actually covered Nextoid for a while because I really love the game. It was the first game that was actually a Next game that I saw, and the latest version that's in the latest software release on here has now got full joystick support and everything. And I was playing it in quite in detail on one of my other videos. Look at the video I was doing, which is a demo on it. I think it's titled something like Enhanced Spectrum ZX Speed Modes and things like that. It's on that video. If you look on there, I cover Nextoid quite a lot. This video is just to show this game in detail. So there's a little, I don't know if that's a little skull and crossbones there, but if I want to cross it, because obviously I'm going to do it, and you can see there. I don't think Rick would be very happy to see that in the real world. Demo limit, demo limit, demo limit. Unless he's living in the Matrix, I don't think he'd really be seeing that. So obviously I can't continue over there, but let's just... Whoa! Okay, so I need to be able to jump that, so let's just refresh that. Let's be quick about it. There are little clues as to the braking blocks. I think they've got a slightly different colour pattern in the corner there, which is a clue to that they break down. And I'm imagining all of these break down, so I better run quickly. Yeah, I knew it. So I've got my diving tanks. At least now, if you see me scroll along the bottom there, you can see I've now got my little selection of items along the bottom. Oh, and what's quite good, worth mentioning, sorry, something I haven't pointed out in this, the play field is in the normal Spectrum grid area there, the 256 by 152. The sprites for the life counter and the HUD details down here, they're all done in the border area, and like I say, it's those little effects which kind of enhance the appearance without needing to, you know, I think they've kept it right by sticking with the standard resolution, but then obviously being able to use the area to put sprites in and little images and things like that is quite cool. One thing I discussed with Michael Ware was something about utilising the outside space for little effects for the games. Anybody who used to play the Super Nintendo back in the day and use the Super Game Boy, I don't know if anybody really kind of remembers that you used to be able to change the borders on there and have custom borders when you were playing the Game Boy games. I could see games perhaps using the border area to create, you know, say a backdrop area for a game, and I think that would be pretty cool. You could actually put quite a lot of detail in there. I'm not quite sure of the mechanics of it, but I'm sure you could put some kind of bitmap into that area there and create, you know, an area for you could make it look like part of the level. I think it'd look really cool. So I've got my tanks. I know I still haven't explored fully to the left, but I can now go underground, so I'm debating heading downwards here and seeing if I can go swimming. So, oh, how do I get down there to get that? Oh, I see. Break that. That one looks breakable. Yes. 19 coins, not doing too bad. And like I say, there's a good variation of enemies here. Right, so we've got a funky... I was just talking about the Matrix, and look what's in the middle of the screen. The goddamn blue pill. So, let's see if I can make my way to that. It looks like it's going to be a tricky one to time. Oh, that was luck more than cunning, I'll be honest. The Panax pill, okay. So there's going to be places I can utilise all these items. Not entirely sure where just yet. Oh, that was bad timing. This is where the infinite lies do come in handy. Oh, I'm going to need a platform to get... Oh, I've got infinite lives, let's just die. Right, so we've got a coin down there. Coin down there. If I get down there, it's going to be hard to get back up, so let's take the high road first. Oh, bad timing on my part. See, Mike, you're not the only one who's bad at these kind of games. Yeah, take the red pill. Yeah, live in the next Matrix, yeah. That's the way to do it. Yeah, I think that ladder there takes me back up. I think there's a coin up there that I missed. Ah, there's a little sign there that it's got a little sun on it. Looks like a sun anyway. So I'm assuming that's some kind of clue. Whether that's to an area I'm going to now, or whether it's a clue to an area that's off the map at the moment, I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to leave that coin. Oh, I'm going to walk straight into a bat. I think that's something we need to be careful of, I think, on the level design lamp process, just to ensure there's no cheap deaths like that, where it just kind of, you walk onto a screen and you're instantly in danger because there's nothing you can do about that. I don't know what these other items do. I don't know if they actually... Let's see if there's anything... So I've selected the blue pill. It's not doing anything to my actual character. I need to get back over to the left wherever I do, because I need to get back underground where I can use my breathing apparatus. Oh, I can't actually get up there, can I? So I'll have to take this route back. Didn't want to do that. Might as well grab the coin when I'm there, right? So some rather tricky platforming to do here. So I've got to go all the way around if I miss that. Ah, I am useless at platforming on this. Some really tricky parts. Yeah, going back to the difficulty, Lampros, I think you're right in what you say, you know. You'd seen it, so you want to ensure it's not too easy because you know what you're doing. However, I think you've got to be, you've got to be careful not to overcompensate by putting too much peril in the way to kind of artificially create a difficulty level. You've just got to kind of keep the balance right and make sure that it's, you know, okay, it might seem easy to you, but just remember that, bear in mind that obviously a first-time player isn't going to see these things straight away, and kind of just accept it maybe like the way I'm talking about, you know, as though I'm a first-time player, and that obviously I've said I've found that a bit difficult. So, you know, you need to that the first-time player is going to feel it the way I'm feeling it. Right, so I've got my air tank. I need to make my way back to the left carefully. That's some difficult jumping there, I'll tell you. Oh, that was close. I'll get that coin there while I'm at it. Make my way back underground, I think. And now I've got my my breathing apparatus. I can go and investigate that cave a little bit further. I've got to say, I mean, I thought I'd be struggling more without a map at this point. It might have been nice to have had some kind of mini map, but that would make it a bit too easy. A lot of the fun of adventure games back on the Spectrum back in the day was that you had to kind of map it out, either in your mind or whether you penciled it down in a notebook or whatever. And I think part of that is it's memorization, you know, replaying it and kind of remembering what screens follow on from where. I think once you know the order of items to get and where you're going for those items, I think then you can focus on your platforming skills, if you know what I mean. And they'll naturally get better the more replays you have anyway. So let's take a look around. Right, so we've got a fire trap there, spike trap there. I want that green key, whatever happens, I want that green key. So let's grab that green key. You've got some weird little girl at the bottom there freaking me out. So I've got the green key. Let's head down. Right, so here we go. This is where the breathing apparatus, the first usable item, is going to come into effect. Let's hit the water. I don't know how long I can actually breathe underwater for. Strange, I can breathe underwater, but there's no underwater physics. I can still jump like Sonic does. Careful here, right? Oh, this is difficult. How the hell am I supposed to? I don't think there's enough room to jump over that there, unless I've got to jump under it. At least I've got my oxygen tanks anyway. So I'm not going to die on this. Ooh, be careful with that. You've got to be able to. I'm going to have to run behind it, I think, and drop down. Yeah, that's the only way to get around it there. I'll look at it. We'll have that. We've got drips, we've got birds. Oh, I don't want to get by that. Got a coin down there. Oh, and a red key. Oh, I forgot you don't actually swim there. Me jumping into the water, thinking I'm Mario. Exactly. You got to get through it without the map. Exactly, Kev. You know what I mean. This is where things like the magazines would have come in handy. You know what I mean. Got to go old school with that. Right. So I've got a yellow key. I've got a green key, and now I've got a red key. I feel like I'm fully armed for this game, but now I've got to work out how the hell to get out of it and escape. Watch that. Okay, so there's some kind of red cross thing there. Oh, a crucifix. Okay. And while I'm here, I might as well grab. Whoa, that was tricky. Oh! It's a bit naughty how that snake goes well off the platform. Might need to change that enemy there, it looks a bit strange. And there's actually a ladder over there. Let's see if we can take that up. I'm at the very edge of the demo limit here, so let's see where it leads to. Whoa, look, a teleporter or something there at the top. I think I've got all my, I've got all the coins I can get from this side, so let's go and check out what the hell that is. Oh, big fall. Let's try that again. Oh man, that's a tricky jump. Whoa! Right, and I've got a few items here. Let's see if any of these do anything. Crystal. Okay. No. I'm not even sure what that is. It looks like a gold bar. Blue pill. Nope. Red key. Green key. Crucifix. No. So maybe I haven't met all the conditions to hit that yet. That is a ridiculous jump to try and make. Got it. Just about, but I got it. Yeah, let's head left here. There's obviously some items I'm a bit short of at the moment I need to find, so let's see if I can't find them, mate. Find those last few items, then maybe it'll let me out. Yeah, Turrican, exactly, yeah. Exactly what I was thinking. Whoa, whoa. The damn rat. Ah. Let that weird white monkey walk into me, man. Oh, I can't actually reach that platform except off there, so let's time this right. Oh, that platform goes a bit far for my comfort there. At least I got the coin anyway. Go away, crazy girl with a knife. I can't go left there, so it looks like I'm heading up and left now. Go away. Thank you. Ah, right, I'm heading down. I didn't go down yet, did I? Fireball, fireball, monkey. Oh, I'm just hitting absolutely everything here. Whoa, and he hit the spikes as well, the hidden spikes in the floor. That was damn close. I'll try and get past the monkey now. Goodbye. Down there. Ah, right. Oh, there's a switch up there. I can see a switch. Oh! That was close. Whoa, I nearly forgot to select my oxygen tanks then. Pitfall 2, yeah, Pitfall 2 had a lot more exploration, if I remember right, Kev. And obviously Pitfall 1 was a great action adventure, but Pitfall 2 had a bit more adventure to it. It's a very cool game. I mean, I am liking it. It needs a few little touches, little bits of refinement, just in maybe in the odd enemy placement, maybe a little bit in the collision detection in places like I mentioned. But it's just polish, you know, it's not anything seriously affecting gameplay. And at the end of the day, if you all you can say at this point is the game needs a little bit more polish, then I think that's fine. And with a brand new, you know, a brand new system we're talking about here, I think if the only criticism you can say is it needs a little bit of polish, you know, I think that will come naturally in time anyway. I think people will find their own look and feel for games, you know. And once people find that, you'll find games that very characteristically look like each other anyway, you know. People will have their own signature kind of graphic style and animation style and whatever. Yeah, it's the right vibe, definitely. So right, well anyway, I am a little bit lost, I'll be honest now. I haven't really been keeping track of where we are, and I've been playing it for a while now, so I don't want to. I don't think I'm going to be able to take it to the very end because I'm struggling to work out how to reach some of these coins and things, unless some of these items do some. But I've got quite a few keys for gates and stuff I haven't got. I mean, I didn't know if I could use that, what looked like a teleporter. Don't know if I can use these items. Doesn't look like I can float or anything. So, but I'm going to come back and play this back another time anyway. I've got to go and have a bite, me a bite to eat now. So anyway, coming back to myself. So, I don't know about you guys, but I think that's a really cool game. You know, Lampros, I know you've been watching this. I really appreciate you sending me the demo, dude. It's a really cool game. I do like it. This and Angry Bloaters, I think, are going to be games that people are really going to hunt out for, and they're going to want. You know, the next is on its way. You've already said this game's on its way anyway. So hopefully, you know, people like myself who already got the advanced boards, the dev boards, we're going to be able to pick this game up really soon. I'll definitely be wanting to do it. I know a lot of my friends who've got the next are going to wanting to do it. And I know a lot of people who've got the next coming up are going to want to do it. I'll just take that off. There's a bit of glare there on my glasses. So, yeah, really cool game. Needs a few touches here and there, maybe a little bit of music here and there, maybe the odd enemy change. Go back, look over the video, just see what you guys think. You know, not everyone might feel the same way as me, but I think you should, you know, if you've got your next, when this comes out, it's a game I think I can highly recommend at this point. The exploration alone makes the replay value high. You know, I've been playing there for, I don't know, 30, possibly even 40 minutes. I think I've been playing and talking about it. And this is just the first, I don't know, there's only 30 screens to explore on this. And it's taken me that long to get through, you know, to get through it. And I've been using infinite lives. To do that with just 5 lives, it's going to take a lot of replay to get to that point. And I think people are going to really enjoy exploring it and making their way around it. It is a cool game. I think if you just iron out a few of those little collision detection issues, rebalance the difficulty in places to allow for the fact that 5 lives isn't going to take people very far to start with, I think it's good. It's going to make for just a perfect game. And it definitely a great one to add to your stable. So that'll be 3 under the belt for you, Lampros. And I think this will be a very worthy first premium release title that I'd be happy to buy. And I'm sure a lot of the other next owners are going to be happy to buy. Anybody out there who's watching, I'm sure there'll be some more next content coming up. I haven't been sent any more demos as of yet, but hopefully a few of the devs out there who've been watching these. I know there's a few of you I haven't spoken to you yet, but if any of you guys want me to cover your game and give you a kind of real playtest in the field, build up some hype for this system, you know. I want you guys to do well who have been working on these games. I want everybody to enjoy their next experience. And as far as next content goes, for now, I think I've covered pretty much most things for the next. So I need some more next content. So send me what you've got, show the people out there, and let's make this system something really cool. Let's make it something people are going to want, you know, right up to the point that the system fully arrives as a cased item and beyond. You know, there's some awesome games now. I think I've reviewed 4, 5, possibly 6 games now properly on here, and these are just the advanced versions. When I get them, I'm going to want to play them all in full detail. I'm going to want to put them out at shows. We're going to do high score competitions on them and everything. There's always going to be a place for the next and the games that are coming for them at Revival. There's a couple of Revival shows coming up, actually, I should mention to you guys. If you want us to demo any of your games on the Teams Spectrum Next machines that are going to be there, get in contact, we'll get them out there. If you want to come along and showcase your systems, drop me a line, and hopefully I'll be able to communicate with you all soon and show you some more excellent Next content. In the meantime, like I say, I've got some other good retro gaming streams coming up just this week, covering the Sword M5 and the flash cart that I've got for that. We're going to be looking live from a couple of events that we're doing for Revival Retro events this weekend. We've got a couple of conventions. I'm going to broadcast to you live from there. And the next won't be on display at any of those, but a lot of you out there are just avid retro gamers. And I hope you tune in anyway and support this channel, support this page and what I'm doing. And stay subscribed, and anything else that's coming up, you'll find out about it first. Oh, just before I sign off, Kev, yeah, it's going to be a while before I can submit anything. One of the first to receive content when it's available. Kev, that's superb, mate. I really appreciate that. Get it over to me and I'll give it the same length and kind of treatment I've given the other guys. I'll treat it with respect. Anything you send to me will obviously be kept within, you know, to myself. You know, the only people who will even see it outside of myself will be other members of the Revival team. It certainly won't be shared out amongst anyone. So if you want to get anything demo over to me, you want to get anything complete over to me, send it over and I'll showcase it. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Appreciate you tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll catch up with you after then. See you later, guys.